The Olympian gods, named after Mount Olympus, where they mostly inhabited, were considered the most important and powerful deities in the ancient Greek pantheon. Each of them had their own unique personalities, symbols, and areas of influence, and often got involved in human affairs, causing both good and bad outcomes. The stories surrounding these deities were a vital part of ancient Greek culture and religion, and continue to be studied and appreciated today. Zeus was the king of the gods and the ruler of the sky, and for this reason he was associated with the weather, thunder, and lightning. He was also said to be responsible for law, order, and justice. He was often depicted holding a lightning bolt with an eagle nearby. Poseidon was the Olympian god of the sea and waters in general, and was associated with tides, storms, earthquakes, and horses. He was often depicted as a strong and bearded man holding a trident, his weapon of choice. Athena was the Olympian goddess of reason, wisdom, courage, and warfare, and was also associated with strategy, arts, crafts, and justice. She was often depicted wearing a helmet, carrying a spear, and accompanied by her sacred animal, the owl. Apollo was the Olympian god of music, poetry, prophecy, and the sun, and was also associated with arts, healing, truth, archery, and manly beauty. He was often depicted as a young, beardless, handsome, and athletic man playing a lyre, wearing a laurel wreath, and driving a chariot across the sky. Hara was the queen of the gods and the wife of Zeus, and was the goddess of marriage, women, and family. She was also associated with fertility and childbirth, and was often depicted wearing a crown and holding a lotus-tipped staff. Demeter was the Olympian goddess of agriculture, harvest, and fertility, and for that reason was associated with the seasons, especially the cycle of growth and decay. She was often depicted as a mature woman holding sheaves of wheat or a cornucopia. Artemis was the Olympian goddess of the hunt, wilderness, virginity, and the moon, and was associated with the protection of young girls, childbirth, and the natural world. She was often depicted as a young woman with a bow and arrows, accompanied by deer and other wild animals. Hephaestus was the Olympian god of fire, blacksmiths, metalwork, and sculpture. He was often depicted as a bearded man with a hammer, tongs, and an anvil, working in his forge. Despite being physically imperfect, he was known for his craftsmanship and skill in creating beautiful and powerful weapons and artifacts. Aries was the Olympian god of war, violence, and bloodshed, and was associated with the brutal and chaotic aspects of war. He was usually depicted as a young and beardless man, either nude with a helmet or wearing armor and carrying a spear or sword. Aphrodite was the Olympian goddess of love, beauty, pleasure, and procreation, and was associated with roses, doves, and other symbols of love and sensuality. She was often depicted as a beautiful woman, either naked or semi-nude, or wearing elegant clothing and jewelry. Hermes was the Olympian god of commerce, thieves, travelers, and the messenger of the gods, and was also associated with luck, cunning, and wit. He was known for his speed and agility, and was often depicted wearing ringed sandals and a winged hat. Dionysus was the Olympian god of wine, fertility, and theatre, and was associated with the joys and excesses of life. He was often depicted carrying a thyrsus, a staff topped with a pine cone, and wearing a wreath of ivy or grape leaves.